Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome tonight to the L'Oreal Men Expert Invitational. Of course, I am TwoTapTony. Joined by me is Matzy to cover here for the upper bracket final. How are you feeling today, Matt?
Oh, Tony, after last night's games, let me tell you, I am incredibly excited to see exactly what these teams can do. And RipNTear certainly coming at us with a few surprises up their sleeves. So let's see if they can continue their momentum up against Order today.
Definitely interested to see as we go over to the bracket. You look at it here, of course, it's going to be Order versus RipNTear here for the upper bracket round one. And what a surprise, RipNTear coming out of nowhere, seeded 8th, I believe, in the tournament. As we look over at the group stage, I believe 8th versus second seed here, Order, looking very, very good, very dominant performance yesterday, and it'll be interesting to see how they show up this evening, Matt.
Certainly will be keen to see how they shape up. Like, they've certainly had some early success, so I'm hoping that they can continue that coming into today, because the two new members on their roster, Autumn and Disco, certainly showed up.
We definitely saw that, of course, yesterday playing Haven. Very, very comfort map pick for all the former launch players, of course, to form the core of Order. But then bringing Disco, Autumn, some solid performances, multi-frags galore from Disco, some very strong holds as well from Autumn over at that C site. And it'll be interesting to see. Of course, we do have the vetoes, and it will be Ascent, Bind, and Haven, the three maps, of course. No split just yet in this invitational, Matt. I really want to see it. Split's a really great map.
Yeah, I'd argue the same, Tony. I really like the different kinds of tactics that can come out on a map like Split. Like, there's certainly heavy priority over middle control, and honestly, I'm just keen to see what these teams can do.
And, well, of course, I just had my game crash. Lovely
Same.
start here. Very unfortunate technical issues. Always bound to happen. But, guys, we'll get back into it very, very soon, of course. Ascent being the map, and I feel a pocket pick here for RipNTear, of course. Played it a bit over in the Evolution ladder against teams like Kanga, like ShadowNet, and they've come away with a few victories here and there, and it'll be interesting to see how we see Order play this map. Of course, they did play it yesterday, and it was a very close game against the likes of Notic. I believe it went 15-13. Order were finally able to take it, but Matt, this could be where RipNTear upset in this first map.
Oh, I'd certainly argue that that could be a possibility, Tony, and it's really great that now we've come into the best of three side of things, because obviously yesterday it was only best of ones, and if one team's feeling better or more confident on one map over the other, then they certainly can rip the edge away from their opponents. But with the best of three, as we were touching on yesterday, it is a game of endurance. You have a lot of different elements you're going to have to think about. You're going to have to calculate exactly how you want to approach each map differently. Let's see which team steals the edge this time.
And, well, we have unfortunately missed a few kills here, but we do have a hit already come out from the side of Order, and they're set up very comfortably for the post plant. It's going to be Void and Scroll left to do it here. Void coming from the flank, and he has spotted out too. He's got his knife out, but it's actually the pistol. It's a bit of an unfortunate beat there from Scroll, and now Void left into the 1v2. Autumn towards the door, and Texter towards the box will find his final kill, and Order find themselves a pistol round to start here, Matt.
Yeah, great way to kick the game off there, Tony. And you just look at the agent choice on both teams as well. The exact same. It's the replica battle, if you will. So obviously there is some key strategies or a meta being established here in these respective picks that they've opted for.
And, of course, Ascent, I feel, a map very prone to mid control, and it'll be interesting to see how Order use it. Of course, they do have Dick on the Sova. They do have Autumn on the Cypher. It's the early dash up. It's a straight kill peek over the top here. Tux timed out. No, he's got it. Flick to the face of Void, and a few other kills being found by the members of Order. Lukey going peeking, but he's the only one left. A very interesting start there. I don't know what happened to Tux, but he somehow got that kill.
It beats me, Tony, but nonetheless, the side of Order do secure the plant there on the spike. Have lost a couple of players in the process, so not a bad effort coming through from the RipNTear side. Lukey, almost secured it. Got the dink off. 2 HP on Dick there. Wow, that was certainly closer than they would have been hoping for, but nonetheless, Order secure the round, and now we're on to number 3.
And this is definitely a different pace than we're seeing Order, of course, from their Ascent game yesterday against the likes of NodeSick. It was very close, very back and forth for a bit. And of course, guys, if you want to catch the NodeSick versus EXO game, it is over on the main channel. But guys, we're doing Order, RipNTear at the moment, and Order are looking really hot to start it off here on Ascent.
Here we go. Another round. All of the Order players stacked up towards B. Here we go. The Rolling Thunder comes through. Everybody's charging hard. Tux leading the charge at the hull there, but it looks like the RipNTear players going to be putting a stop in their tracks. A big obstacle to get through. 3 versus 5 situation now. Make that 2. They've managed to get the plant down, Tony, but will it be enough? Because they're all falling down like dominoes right now.
Oh, just like that. They will drop like flies to the side of RipNTear. A very flawless retake there. Just able to find the front runners. Lukey, of course, getting that first kill through the smoke. And just really putting the foot down. RipNTear will be putting their first now on the board. And, of course, Order, that was only bonus round. So they do have the money to buy in this one. All Vandals and Phantoms across the board for everybody on either team. And, well, Greg, unfortunately, doesn't have the money to get full armor here. But it's going to be interesting to see this round truly telling on how this game will sway.
Yeah, nice job coming through from the side of RipNTear there. Managing to take the third. Order just prioritizing the plant so they can stabilize their buy coming into this round. So they've certainly got plans ahead of them, but let's see how they come into place as they push their way into these future rounds. Obviously have taken that middle control early on, so that certainly leaves a lot of options open to them. And RipNTear just really holding that more passive approach in this round, Tony.
Holding passive though. Void all the way through main. We'll be holding that off angle there. Lukey, of course, in CT. We'll be backed by Greg in a moment. Void. Well, Tux and the rest of Order now start to split their way up towards market. The smoke, of course, to the CT spawn. That's a kill found by Dick on short. They don't actually have to commit to this. I don't know why Lukey goes through that smoke. Very unfortunate timing from him, and well, Skrull has found another. Greg almost threw that smoke, but it's Skrull firing off from the site. Greg as well, just picking off the members of Order. They don't even have to peek anything, but Skrull does it anyway. Now, last left alive, it's Tux with Spike in hand. Could be flanked in a moment's notice here. Void has gone all the way through. Tux has caught the timing though, and 20 seconds, he will be able to get this Spike down onto this B site, Matt.
Oh, Void actually hears it though. Oh, does spot out the player there. Is it going to be able to take him out with the daggers? Very nice use of the ultimate to close out the round. Sure, they didn't stop the plan from occurring, but nonetheless, they do secure the kill and the round.
And I feel maybe Order leaving it a little too slow there in the pace in that round. Of course, being caught off bit by bit. A few kills found from it short by Skrull, and overall, RipNTear, a very even game right now for both these teams. And of course, we now look again, the money's still there for Order if they want to purchase. And of course, RipNTear now start to build a sizable economy. We have 6k and 5.4 on Skrull and Void.
Just like that, we kick our way into a new round here. Tux already starting off strong, has opted to push out the Blade Storm. Could catch out a player if he gets close enough. Ooh, just slips away from that recon dart as well. So no information gained for Skrull there, but does follow it up with the drone. So there's an idea that there are a few players stacked up towards that position. And as we see, they're already starting to make those faster movements towards the B site, Tony. This is what you were talking about before. They go too slow, but now they pick up the pace.
It appears they must have heard me and, well, out to sight they are. Tux is already in the back of Boathouse, and no one really able to show face from the side of RipNTear as, well, Spike will finally go down. Hunter's Fury in return from Scroll, and he's just looking to nail onto a few. Can't quite find the lineup. No damage being done, only to the members here on RipNTear. Disco getting aggressive towards Market, will be taken out. Texter in a really good position here. He's going to walk out to the face of 3. RipNTear now coming in for the retake. The knives come out. It's Tux with a kill. And it still has more to work with. A left click straight in the face of Scroll. As the trade comes out, we're into the 2v2. Void and his main man Lukey against Dick and Tux. And it's Void to find that first kill. Left to Dick now. Back in the Boathouse. Swings out onto Lukey. Tags him low. He's got 6 bullets and needs to find 2 kills. He can't. Lukey finds it. And the full defuse coming in. Just enough time. 0.65, sorry. Yeah, and RipNTear claim a 3rd round map.
Oh, it was so close for the Order guys, Tony. Like, towards the end there, those missed shots really did cost them. Like, you saw Tux trying to go for the shots with the Blade Storm, but they just weren't connecting. And at those crucial moments, you really need to be hitting them.
Very unfortunate circumstance there for Order. They have been able to get the Spike down so many times, so they do still have the money to buy, but RipNTear are just finding the upper hand in some of these retakes.
Starting off slowly into this round, they've gone back towards their traditional approach on the side of Order, just slowly clearing out the angles, making sure that nobody's going to be hiding away in those respective crevices. It looks like now they push their way over towards the Market position, ready to see if anyone's going to be holding towards the lever there. They should be able to take this B control. They just need to collapse onto the site, work together as a unit. They only have 2 obstacles in Void and Lukey that they need to overcome.
And I have to say, this mid-take from Order has been very strong, but Void has a very good angle there. Sees the head, gets a 2nd on the Dick, a 3rd on the Texter. He's just shooting ducks as they cross. It's a 4th on the Disco. And just like that, Order dissipate in the blink of an eye. It's left to Tux, and he's going to drop to the Void, and in goes the ace. Void with absolutely massive hold there, not allowing anyone from Order any sort of footing into that B site.
And they fall into the trap again, Tony. Like you were talking about towards the initial stages of the game, they're just going a little bit too slowly. They're just too cautious approaching these rounds, and it really does come to cost them because it has allowed those players to set themselves up, cement themselves into position on the site, and they're just too prepared for it.
Such a sick angle there from Void, just shutting down everybody from Order. And now back to the drawing board, potentially the A hit coming out immediately. Tux, Stinger in his hands, getting very close, but it's Koro. Quick trades, Paranoia as well. He's hiding for dear life. It's Void again, finding kill after kill, but Autumn has traded back with a few on the Sheriff, and it's a bloodbath here over at A, and 3 left alive for Order, only 2 for the side of RipNTear. Scroll quite low as well, Matt.
Ooh, the Neural Theft even adding some more information to their playing cards. The Rolling Thunder just further cementing their hold on the side. I don't know if that was necessary, Tony, because they've already managed to establish themselves. I feel like maybe that could have been better used coming into a future round, but obviously they do want to delay their opponents as long as they can, and you see they need to continue to do that. Both Lukey and Scroll picking up 3 players across the board now. Everybody just falling down. Doesn't matter what abilities you throw at them, they are just going to remain poised and calm.
And I have to give it, these retakes from RipNTear have been absolutely phenomenal. Order, just, they got themselves in the site. They got themselves so deep as well. They had Texter underneath the balcony and, well, just not able to hold off this onslaught that RipNTear are bringing in this game so far.
Yeah, really being caught by surprise coming into these games, Tony, and I feel like it really goes to show the amount of preparation that has come through on the RipNTear side. maybe bringing her through tricks out of the hat, if you know what I mean. But regardless, Void, very aggressive through middle. Does actually pick up Auden there. Luckily, Tux was able to trade it out, but that's going to instill some doubt in the minds of Order.
And it continues to instill doubt here, but they're not feeling too disheartened, so they're going to walk themselves up on A for free. Our drone spotted. Koro now fully aware his position had been compromised. The wall bang from underneath from Dick Stacy. And well, Scrawl, and this time Greg left in the 2v4. Make it only Scrawl as Greg hits the floor. And Order finally showing a dominant a dominant retake. Not going to be coming in this time from RipNTear, and Scrawl probably just going to have to walk away, save this gun for another day. In Order finally putting 3 on the board, we much needed one. Scrawl catches one on the exit, needs to be careful though. Tux is very, very far up.
Yeah, luckily, Scrawl does fade away in the end there, just opting to letibulate, just hide away towards that boathouse position. He's able to save out the Phantom there, but nonetheless, the RipNTear side, their economy is pretty stable. Like, I'd say that potentially, if they keep playing their cards right, they should be able to buy up for the rest of the half.
And, well, the side of Order, get another spike plant means very sizable economy now starting to be built. We see 3.4 on Dick, we see 2 and 3 respectively on Autumn and Texter, and, well, we want to see more pace. We want to see a lot more of that from Order going into these later few, but not if Void has anything to say about it. Op, posted up, Flash comes out, peeks away from it, full white, can't see anything now, goes for the re-aggress, takes a shot with a dash, and decides to fall back. A smart play. Koro, though, playing very far forward.
Yeah, I like this forward position. Might actually catch a few players off guard, but as we hear, the side of Order is going to swing their attention back towards middle again. We've even got Autumn playing pretty aggressively towards B main, just ready to swing onto that position, perhaps gain some information. You see the rest of the team slowly stacking their way up as well. We've got 2 players they potentially need to deal with. Lukey on the camera, and then Scroll just holding the flank there in case someone wants to swing through spawn.
Well, now the pace is coming in here. Fury being deployed by the Sova, and, well, Lukey's panicked. He doesn't know where to look right now. He's waiting for a few of these players to come walking in, but they haven't quite walked up. There's the double from Lukey. The telly towards the back. It's Disco in the flank, and Scrawl now with the rest of his teammates locking down Order. It's Dick Stacy with Paranoid, full white to the world. And just like that, RipNTear hold down another B hit from the side of Order.
Yeah, RipNTear's more far back playstyle certainly paying off for them. It's like their opponents are playing into their hands per se. Like, I feel like if Order picks up the pace like we were touching on before, then maybe they might be able to catch them off guard. Like, if they have so many different elements that they have to think about all at the same time, like for example a full 5-stack rush, then maybe it could work out. Sure, they might lose an element or 2 in the process, but I feel like what they're doing right now is just taking it a little bit too slowly.
Void do not give a damn. He even gets dodged the paranoia, the dash back, and Void with the opening pick yet again. And this is what we want to see from RipNTear. Void going absolutely mental to start it, and his teammates shortly behind him. And it's very strong start here, and Foot even being spotted there. The camera from Lukey is so pivotal. Even seeing Autumn, not going to dare fire off a shot because he doesn't want the camera to be seen just yet, but all of the intel being gained here. And Order now going to have to go back to the drawing board. Dick up through short, dodging a drone of his own, and, well, Order playing this one a little scattered.
I feel like this scattered gameplay might actually work out for them, though. If Dick's able to get the opener, there we go. Koro goes down. He spotted our Void's position as well. Oh, trying his best to take him out. He's actually still alive, but he's barely breathing. Tony, how is he doing this? Dick is going hard right now. Knows to take complete control for his team, and now they're going to get the plant down.
Oh, just absolutely massive, though. Scrawl, close combat against Tux, will win it out. The head's shot straight to the face. neural theft, though, being deployed out here by Lukey. They now know where everybody from the Order side are playing from. Disco will TP his way out, but Recon Dart spots it, and he's going to go for the wall bang here. Lukey and Scrawl left to take out the remaining members of Order. It's the first kill, though, from Disco. It's a second from the Generator. It's a third overall. An Order with a very quick and very interesting paced hit towards the side of A. Will finally find themselves a fourth, and this is still anyone's game here. RipNTear do have a lead, but Order don't give a damn about numbers at the moment.
At the end of the day, Tony, the numbers are there, but they can certainly overcome them. They can manage to close that distance. Like we've seen, they managed to take complete control of the round there. Dick Stacey putting the team on his shoulders, just absolutely barraging his way through, getting those opening picks. That worked out so well.
Oh, no way, Void. Even Paranoid finds that kill towards the player in spawn, and it's just phenomenal to see. Void just taking Order to town. Of course, Order, I feel, the favorites in this series overall after their performances yesterday. And RipNTear don't give a damn about the stat lines. As, well, Order left to 3 and an advantage for the side of RipNTear. But Tux and Disco have got their way up, though. Disco can't win that fight out against Koro. It's another kill from the top of heaven. Left to Autumn already. And Order are starting to show some blood, Matt.
Yeah, certainly are looking a little bit battered. As you see, RipNTear always able to find that redemption round, always able to pick themselves up, even if they fall short. And just like that, Autumn is going to go down. Koro, a nice 4K into the round, certainly making waves.
And, well, it's already into the last round of the half, and RipNTear, a convincing start here to Ascent. And, of course, as I said in the pregame, a map they're not too bad on. A pocket pick even. And, well, showing up big in this first map, and looking to go very, very far in this Invitational. Up to Order to see how they respond here. The last round of the half, and they still have the guns to work with. Of course, a lot of short and mid presence being gained for them this time.
Certainly have managed to really gain a lot of ground towards that short position. Tux opens it up magnificently. Is going to get traded out, though. Another one in Order from Texter there. Now they just have one more player they need to deal with here. Void manages to sneak his way through. No! He doesn't hit the shot. The Church of Right Click coming through, and it does not pay off.
Oh my. Disco. Decapitating Scroll. He doesn't even get a chance to peek Evan. Ted ripped clean off. Lukey now 1v4. And will fall in the end. It's Texter to find that last kill. And Order to find a final round here. 7-5. Now we swap the sides, man. An interesting start to the defense from RipNTear. And well, if Void's feeling himself like that, it's going to be hell going into the second half.
I'm excited to see exactly how both of these sides shape up coming into this next one. Obviously, a pretty close half, like 7-5, a little bit more favored to RipNTear, but Order's certainly showing some flair of their own here. Let's see if in this round they opt for the slow and calculated gameplay that we've seen thus far, or perhaps they try and take it to their opponents.
It's going to be interesting to see, of course. It's still very telling of how the half will sway. It's already early presence. It's the straight up B push coming in from RipNTear. Void's already out on the site. And Order are going to already have to play for the retake. A shock dart comes in. A second one trying to do his trigonometry here. Dick not able to land any arrows onto the side of RipNTear. And now we set up for the 5v5 retake. Who can find this first kill, Matt?
It certainly is going to be a difficult task on the side of Order, but they've got the utility to play with already, trying to burst their way onto the site, seeking out their opponents. There is smokes up for now, but they are going to dissipate soon, and sooner rather than later, but it looks like Dick Stacey leading the charge there. Tux and Tex are able to pick up two. RipNTear slowly falling apart. Oh, Void picks one up back, but it's not enough. RipNTear falling apart. Order, a very nice start to the next half.
That was so scary for a second. You saw Void sneak through that smoke in the back of 3 players and then gets turned on immediately. Order and appears calm under the chaos, and we'll be putting a 6 now on the board. And what can RipNTear bring now? Of course, only pistols in this one, and Order, this is where they can start to show the momentum back in their favor.
Let's see if they can get their grasp on it, Tony. If they get their hands on it and really start to wind it up, moving the way that they want it to. Obviously, the side of RipNTear are going to be stacked up in that death ball composition towards B main there. Ready to try and bring some pain to their opponents, but are going to potentially be spotted out. They know at least somebody's going to be there now, since the recon dart was obviously destroyed, but let's see who's going to spot them out first. Dick Stacey, with a nice drone there, does pick up one.
Does spot out. Well, and even reads it. RipNTear now scared of going mid because Tux, very far pushed, does fall back. Lying hands of his good teammate Dick Stacey, and RipNTear now potentially feeling like B might be in the cards yet again, and it's going to be up to how Tux and Texter can hold it off. Flash full white. Tux stuck in these smokes and can't quite see anything though. Texter's still on the site. Spectre in his hand, and Order are mopping up the members of RipNTear as Dick Stacey finds the final, and just like that, the B hold is so strong from Order, and well, it's now an even scoreline yet again. RipNTear have to answer with the gun round. Of course, Vandals and Phantoms across the board. Spectres for Order and going for the bonus. And they're going to have to do something here from the side of RipNTear. Maybe a split, maybe push through mid, something of the sorts to catch Order off guard.
Certainly keen to see how they try and change things up here. 7-7. Gonna have some pressure on their shoulders if they do want to try it this one. Looks like Order, though, putting the pressure on them, going very aggressively. Do pick up some success. Lukey luckily able to trade it out, though. Now 4 players each. Do also have the ultimate coming through on Tux there, so certainly can do some heavy damage. The side of RipNTear do play into their hands, but look at Tux's position, though. This could play a pivotal factor in their victory if they choose to play around it, Tony.
He's pinged the link as well. He can hear the footsteps. He knows that RipNTear have gone back towards this B side. Left click straight to the face of Lukey. Catches the spike, drops. But still members here. RipNTear to retrieve it. It's going to be on the hands of Void. They fall back to spawn now. A very interesting play on the side of Order. Very spread about and very in the face of the members of RipNTear.
I really like the style of play that is coming through from Order as well, though, Tony, because it really goes to show that Order aren't going to let you walk all over them. They have control of these sites, and they're going to make that known. They have these positions on absolute quarantine right now. Like, it's going to be so difficult in order to break through, but considering that there are 3 players on the RipNTear side charging onto the A site right now, they certainly may find some success.
Early dink and a good early flush. It's going to be the door shot out immediately. Rolling Thunder being deployed back, and, well, it's going to be up to the 3 left here by the side of RipNTear to hold off this hit, because, of course, Order are coming in quickly from that door, and they will not waste a moment. Disco's already up. First point of contact, it will be Scroll taken out. Peeks on the Void, gets a Dick. Trades come out, though. Dick Stacey now in the 1v1, but Greg's going to win it out from underneath. And chaos ensues, but RipNTear thrive under it. 8-7. And a much needed round here for the side of RipNTear. Order. It appears the retakes aren't as good as their holds.
Yeah, unfortunately struggling a little bit in the end there, but they still have a chance to push their way forward coming into this next one, Tony. It's not all done and dusted yet. Maybe if they can kick things off, make use of the fault line, maybe even get onto the site with the aftershock on the breach, then certainly could kick things off. But it looks like RipNTear now picking up the pace, going to be pushing all the way onto the site. Spotting out a couple of players in Boathouse. Void picks up 2, very nicely done. Still has a few more to get through, however. Let's see if they can do it.
And that's just stock standard Jet play there. The dash straight through, saw the flash, and well, knows the players both double stacked in Boathouse. They weren't expecting him to peek right so quickly. Well, Order now left 3 members and a very unlikely retake. The save are already going to be called. Stick and Co run for the hills. RipNTear coming into this later stage of the half with a vengeance.
Certainly showing that they are here to play the game and they are taking it very seriously. They want to push as far as they can in this tournament, Tony. And they are certainly making a statement.
Especially for a team that was seeded 8th place, of course. Very few had them pegged as a strong team overall. And oh, it's a shame to see. Of course, RipNTear, they've got the players. They've got Void, who used to play professional CS for GZ. Scroll, Lukey, Koro, all have played at top levels. Greg as well, a very phenomenal player on the util. And, well, it's great to see RipNTear doing so well for themselves. And very well against a strong team like Order.
And let's see if they can continue to do their former member, Torikago, proud, obviously. To be watching from the shadows there, cheering the boys on. Let's see if they can do him justice.
Well, very aggressive play. This time it's Tux towards B main, not Void. The side of RipNTear, very passive setup, a very interesting way to play. Of course, they don't want to give up any early kills to the side of Order, and see a very stacked up A site, and next are just cautious of the mid flank, and RipNTear just holding default for the moment. Now we'll all group up outside of main, and they're going to have to deal with Tux here.
Certainly do have that obstacle they need to try and overcome. And Tux holding a very tight angle. Could actually be spotted out by the site for utility. Lukey, oh, so close. Does actually spot him out. So that's some great information gained for the RipNTear side. Look at them. They just capitalize. They know they can pincer onto him. Tux actually going to find some success, though. Takes out Koro. Scroll falling down as well. Tux is just destroying them all, Tony. Nobody can get through Tux right now. He's even got the spike on the ground. Such a magnificent hold.
Well, it's up to Greg and Void to salvage what felt like an easy split to that B site, but Tux just being a thorn in their side. Another kill by Texter. We stare down Void here. He's holding the line. He's holding for the peak. Needs to work quickly. Dick Stacy will stab him in the back. 8-9. Order aren't done just yet. And a phenomenal play there from Tux.
Really fantastic to see exactly what they are capable of here, Tony. Certainly making things go their way. Tux making sure to keep his team in it, keep your head in the game. And it certainly has paid off for them. 1 round between them. Let's see if they can continue this momentum they've gained coming into this next round.
Side of RipNTear again. Stock standard default, holding for some early peaks. But Order playing it very disciplined, of course. As you expect of a team of their caliber, of course. Drone being used, and will deploy the cage. He actually is thinking about peeking through this, and he has a few players on the other side to deal with here. We'll find the first as the spike dropped in his hands, and Greg knows where he's playing from, but there's a few coming from the door. It's Koro and Lukey coming into this site, and it's Koro and Lukey to tear them all apart. Tux now left in the 1v3. Finding the first, the flash is good, and Smoke to get him out, but Smoke doesn't cover his entire body. That's 10-8. RipNTear find a very interesting round here.
Yeah, great to see. RipNTear managed to kick their way to double digits there. The Rolling Thunder did come through from order, but unfortunately it wasn't able to sweep them under the carpet, as the RipNTear players still managed to hit the shots despite being disorientated. Let's see if order can look to stack things back together in this round. The economy on both sides looking pretty all right, but let's hope that somebody can find something out of this one.
Oh, Tuck's going for a very aggressive pick though, and a very aggressive orb trying to be taken there by Scroll. He gets caught out. Text to close the door, shoots it out immediately. So the retake pretty strong for order over at that A site if they choose to play for it, and they will. They're playing very far back, and RipNTear a little dazed after losing Scroll early. We're taking a bit of mid control here. Koro walking his way up through short and needs to be careful. The smoke is in play. Disco just on the other side. Garage. Sorry, garden.
Holding steadily at the moment. I like this setup that Texter and Disco have got here. If Koro peeks into that, there's definitely going to be the player ready to go for the refrag. You see, Paranoia comes through. Doesn't even matter. They're just going to charge straight towards the site. Not a care in the world. Disco too prepared for Void. Does send him straight to the Shadow Realm. Koro at least able to get the refrag though. Things looking pretty good on both sides here, Tony. 3-on-3. Texter though, a big thought in their side. The planter is going to be eliminated. And it's all down to Lukey here. 20 seconds remain. I don't think he has enough time to get this done, Tony. The best case scenario, he forces himself to latibulate. Just hide away, maintain that weapon, and live to fight another day.
And that is such a brilliant pick there. And Void not able to catch off guard the members of Order and being caught by the backstab from Disco. A very disciplined style of defense from Order right now, and you can see the scoreline getting just that little bit closer now, 9-10. And Order threatening a tied scoreline. What can RipNTear do? Of course, money to buy. It's a Spectre for Void, and well, we want to see a bit more frags from the rest of his teammates. It's not just the Void show, it's a team effort. And that's what we want to see come out from the rest of RipNTear going into the late stage of this half.
Certainly great to see the effort coming through from these players on both respective sides at the moment. Certainly showcasing their talent. Void going to be leading the charge again for his team, pushing through towards B main at the moment, just clearing out that position towards market, see if anybody's going to be laying in that smoke. Just ready and waiting. Does actually push through, gets the door shut, so that's at least one positive. Oh that no. Bait is huge.
Oh my no God. Way. Tux, there's no way he catches Void there. The kill comes out, but that was just a massive fake here for RipNTear. They're all over on that A site now. Even holding for flanks. It's of course Greg in middle. Neural Theft being deployed, and it's a 4v4 here for the side of Order, and they need to work quickly. That spike of course halfway ticked almost, and no one being able to spot here. Greg finding that opener towards short.
Looks like both sides just trying their best at the moment. Recon Dart going to come through. They know where some players inside of RipNTear could be. Dick Stacey able to take out Lukey, so find a little bit of success. Time's ticking away though. They need to get this done now. Hunter's Fury at the perfect moment. It stops the defuse, Tony. Oh, Scroll! He's killing them all.
No way!
Big play from Scroll there, clutching it out, taking the 11.
He even gets the cherry on top. He gets the final kill onto Texter as he peeks. No way that happens. Order leave it too late, and Scroll capitalizing off the mistake. The beautiful Hunter's Fury shuts it down completely as RipNTear now one away from that match point. And Matt, this is such a strong showing from RipNTear in this first map.
They are certainly bearing their teeth, Tony. They are ready to party, and it looks like they are going to kick things off right now. Already charging their way onto the side. Autumn going to fall down. Dexter and Tux certainly refragging very dominantly, though. And just like that, The round's just fallen on its feet, Tony. It's just gone in a flash.
And Order read it well. That's a very well-timed stack. It shuts down the members of RipNTear and potentially feeling like blood in the water coming towards that B site, and rightfully so. RipNTear just getting absolutely mopped up there. Void did get the early pick, but no one else from his team could really capitalize with so many members from Order standing tall.
Let's see how things look to shape up coming into this round, though. I really like the divide and conquer strategy coming through on the side of RipNTear, but just like that, Lukey's already been taken out by the Hunter's Fury. Very well placed shots coming out from Dick Stacey. How do you think the rest of their side's going to adapt here?
Camera spotted. Void. His position be made aware. Pink comes out and Dick knows he hears the dash. But Tux has found some beautiful kills. Void still in spawn, making a mockery of this Order side. Autumn as well chiming in. It's again left to Void. What can the members of RipNTear really do? Order have come back with a vengeance. First kill being found, but a lot more to find here. Tux knows exactly where the position is. 5 HP. Dead to Tux. Beautiful play, beautiful hold. And now a tied scoreline for once, Matt. 11-11. Order aren't done with this, but neither are RipNTear.
This first map certainly going all the way down to the wire, Tony. Both of these teams are so hungry to take this game away. They want to start off strong, and they want to push all the way towards the end of the series.
This Invitational delivering phenomenal. Both of these teams in terms of results. RipNTear, a surprise Seed 8 upset all the way in the playoffs now against a very strong team. Seed 2 in Order. And this game, very, very close. And, well, no one would expect such a result from such a newly formed roster like RipNTear.
Yeah, certainly looks like they've been practicing quite effectively at that. But just like that, Tony, the Rolling Thunder going to come through, going to force these players on the Order side a little bit further back. Void looking to play around the smokes, perhaps find some early success, but it looks like their forces are being nullified by the side of Order right now. Autumn and Dexter. Dick Stacey even joining in on the fun. And now it's down to a 1 versus 2 for Scroll. Left to do it all. 50 seconds remaining. Will he rise or will he fall?
It's a beautiful double lineup, first of all. And he said left to Scroll 1v2 against Disco and Dick. And has retrieved the spike, but he's going to have to play the peekaboo here. Disco, well aware he could be getting swung on from heaven at a moment's notice. 25 seconds now. Dick and Disco wrap around. Scroll would have the right time, the right place. I don't know if they're going to expect it. The full flank comes out. Scroll can run to B if he chooses so. Disco holding the window, gets peeked, and Disco will win it out. It's 12 now on the board for Order, and a final match point being showed. It's going to be up to the wire, down to the clock. Round number 24, and what can RipNTear bring in? Not much in terms of economy. A few Spectres, a Bulldog, and Greg with the armor, no vid. The head armor, not existent here.
Yeah, Koro coming into it with no armor at all, it appears. Just opting to go for the dry approach, the glass cannon, if you will, and maybe it could pay off, but I feel like that armor certainly will come back to bite him.
And for it, rest of RipNTear all towards this side. Koro, of course, on the lurk. Disco. Let's hear the telly. He knows he's above him. He hears him drop down, but all of RipNTear have got their way out into the site. Disco playing very disciplined right now. Does peek towards the Gen player. Will be found by Greg, and we could be seeing this potential overtime come in. Of course, the early pick being found. Koro going to be on the flank. Catches Tux out, and 2 members left. Only 3 for Order now as Texter and the rest of them try for the retake. It's Autumn with that first kill. Texter can't quite find the second. Autumn and the likes of Dick now left alive in the 1v4. He gets the first, he gets the second, but done by Lukey. We're going to overtime here in this first map. And what a showing for both of these teams overall.
And just like that, we go to overtime, 12-12. Certainly not the scoreline we were expecting coming into the first game of the series, Tony. But we are loving it nonetheless. And let's see how both of these teams shape up as we kick things off.
And we do gonna check the scoreline here. Void with 25, Tux with 25. And it's a battle of who can find the entries on these Jets. It's all been very, very close. Of course, we saw RipNTear, a very dominant lead in this half, was 10-8, and then Order bounced back, and rightfully so now. As we go into the half, it's Order to start attack here in overtime, and of course it's a win by 2. You need to win, and 14's the magic number we look for as Order have already made their way out onto this A site. Cora standing on the door. Disco reads it because the door doesn't go fully down, and Greg now caught as well towards the short door. And what can the members of RipNTear now do? 3 left against the 4 of Order.
Certainly is a lot that they need to think about right now. The Order players holding steadily, taking them out one by one there, Tony. And just like that, they take the 13th, 1 away from potential victory.
Match point, they will be ringing in their ears. RipNTear now to the attack side of their own, and, well, rightfully so. They had a bit of a resurgence on their attack after defense. Pretty strong, but their attack a lot better. Order was showing a lot better on their defense as well, and it's going to be up to this one. Again, do or die for RipNTear in this first map, and for Order, probably wanting to close it out. Didn't want to show such a close performance from both these teams.
Starting off slowly in this one, just seeking out the information. Trying to see if they can find the golden snitch, Tony. So they are trying to win Quidditch at this point. But nonetheless, side of RipNTear have done a good job at pushing their way up middle at the moment. Just slowly edging their way up short. Do have Disco they need to deal with. Holding on that off angle. May not be prepared for it, but if they are, then that could leave a nasty scar on the Order defense.
It's a very good one. The smoke being deployed. He now spots ahead. He's only good for 1 though. As Autumn tries to find a potential kill. Gets it through the smoke. Lukey's dropped. He drops Void as well. And Autumn showing up huge when Order need it most. Only 2 left here for RipNTear. It's Greg and Scrawl. The door being shut. And the peak to come from heaven. It's Dick to find that first kill. It's up to Greg versus the world. And all of Order come chiming on in. It's Texture to close. And Order finally closed this first map, 14-12, but RipNTear have to hold their heads high. Such a close game.
Wow, Tony. That game was absolutely amazing. What a way to start the day. Like, if that's how we're going to kick things off, Tony, I cannot wait to see what's going to be before us for the rest of today.
And I have to give credit where credit is due. Of course, the Jets, Void and Tux, very, very dominant entry kills. Very, very strong prowess. You can see the practice paying off. Order looking very, very good. Very strong retakes towards the end there. But that was only our first map, Matt. We've got an entire series to work with. And Order are looking very, very strong. But so are RipNTear.
Yeah, both teams certainly showing that they are geared up and ready for action, Tony. And I'm so excited to see if it's going to go all the way to map 3.
And, well, of course, we will be expecting map number 2 very shortly. It's RipNTear's map pick combined. But, guys, we'll be going to a quick commercial break. Again, shout out to our sponsors, The Real Men Expert, of course, bringing you this lovely invitational. Of course, Intel and the Chiefs, making it run so smoothly. But guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with map number 2, RipNTear versus Order for your next invitational.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again.
And we are back live, of course, with the L'Oreal. I've been told in the break, of course, I've been pronouncing it wrong, so apologies again to L'Oreal. Of course, for the Men Expert Invitational. And what a close first map between Order and RipNTear, Matt.
Absolutely, it was a real nail biter. And I'm really excited to see what the second map's going to bring, because I believe there was some talk that Ascent was a map that the side of RipNTear had put a lot of preparation into, and we certainly saw that come true based on the gameplay that was coming before us in that last map. But maybe they might not find the same success coming into these next ones. How do you think it might shape up, Tony?
It's definitely going to be interesting. Order, a team not prone to play bind, but they did pretty well against Avant. Yes, they 13-5, a very dominant scoreline. But of course, RipNTear's map pick, and they're no stranger to bind. Of course, Ascent, as we said, a pocket pick, bind, and even Haven, really, really good maps. Again, my game has crashed, so apologies. We will be delayed into another pistol round. But yeah, RipNTear, quite very good on all of these maps.
Mine actually worked this time, Tony, so that's a pleasant surprise. I'll be able to talk things through whilst you get back in. We obviously do have some pretty similar lineups coming through on either side. The only difference is the raise that is going to come out on Order this time around, so might have a strategy or two coming out of that one. Obviously can make great use of the bomb buddy, yeah, or even make use of the showstopper, because as we saw yesterday, that can certainly be what makes or breaks a round.
And it definitely is interesting to see. I believe it's going to be Tux playing that raise, of course.
You would be wrong. It actually is going to be Autumn playing the raise this time around, but as we say that, Void kicking things off does take out Tux there on the jet. Starting off strong for RipNTear, but will they be able to continue to barrage their way onto the site? A nice shock dart coming through from Skull. Taking out one player in the cubby position. Techstar finding some redemption of their own, though. Get a nice couple of kills. And just like that, RipNTear claw their way onto the site and get that plant down.
Of course, now, as I said, only one left alive for Order. It's Dick with a Ghost and a Dream. 1v3. A very sizable post-plant position here for the entirety of RipNTear, though he checks Void on the spike plant, and we'll find him towards the box. Scroll towards the U-Haul. The peek comes out from Lukey, now down to the 1v1. And Dick has the room to work with. That spike is pretty far ticked, though. Of course, Scroll playing it very smart and safe. He's going to wrap his way around through U-Haul, and he's going to meet Dick in the open, but Dick's going to win it. Doesn't have the time, but a beautiful 3 nevertheless. RipNTear are going to be finding themselves a first round here.
A nice way to start things off. Certainly coming back into it strong, Tony. Even despite the result of the last map, they are certainly still eager to put on a show today.
Definitely feels that way. RipNTear, again, starting it off strong. And, well, many more rounds to find potentially. Of course, Bind, one of those maps that's relatively even for both of these teams. Of course, very prone to strong defenses and strong attacks, especially over at that A site.
Starting off slowly here, some steps have been heard by Scroll there, going very aggressively towards that ultimate orb. Does indeed pick it up as well. Spots out Tux's position, knows that they do have a sheriff allocated towards the A site, so that can certainly dictate how the side of RipNTear approaches this round. Perhaps they opt to retreat towards the B site. They do have two key players towards those positions in Void and Lukey, so let's see exactly how they shape up their play coming into this one.
Order being spotted towards U-Haul, now fully white, can't see a damn thing. As the blast pack has the paint shells still to work with. And RipNTear leaving this one up to chance. Greg making a lot of noise over this A, like Order expecting this hit to come in. They've rotated 4 players on and it's up to Dick now over at this B site to fend off the entirety of this RipNTear roster coming in hot. Recon data spotted it. Dick tagged up, but the flank coming out, the fake from RipNTear, and well, now they've all run to the hills and now have to run back to this site. This is such an interesting play coming out of RipNTear.
Yeah, really like how they've adapted their play around. Now trying to kick their way onto the site, but as we say that, the side of Order has actually managed to get quite a few kills. Autumn, oh my god, the gunslinger just knocking them all down like toy soldiers. It's all left down to Void, but time's run out. The clock has run dry, and now RipNTear say goodbye.
And very, very quick rotate. Very unfortunate there. RipNTear using buy into what we see success, of course, very prone to split plays like that. They show presence at A, they walk over towards B, retake, the rotate comes in from Order, then RipNTear just flank it back and not able to get there out onto the site in time. Order now 1-1 here, and the first time we see rounds go this close.
Let's see if they get closer and closer as the day does go on. Koro starting off strong there, does take out Tux with the Sheriff. Scroll even taking out Disco. Okay, starting the round off very strongly on the side of RipNTear here. Now already down to a 3-on-5. Autumn has a thing or two to say about it though.
He's really solid on the Sheriff right now, and you definitely feel pace has changed here for at least him. He had to play the Cypher last game. Feels more at home on the Rays, and well, RipNTear feel at home hitting it towards this B site. It's going to be up to how the members of Order can retake. Only 3 left. Of course, it is Dick, Texter, and Order. It's going to be Dick, the first point of contact. Spectre in his hands. Texter to find the first, Dick with the second, Dick with the third as well. Now it's just left to Luke, stuck in the backcourt. What can he do against the Spectre of Dick? In Order with a clean cut retake, not anyone falling.
Things going very well for the side of Order. They started off a bit slow, but they managed to pick up the pace towards the later stages there, managing to really calculate how they want to take the rest of the rounds and managing to put their opponents into the ground.
And just been informed the team names are on the wrong side, so we'll swap that over really quick. Of course, always bound to happen.
Thank you for that, Duke.
Thank you, Duke. Much appreciated. Of course, 90-second delay, guys. So we will be seeing your queries very late, but appreciate it nevertheless. And, well, strong start here for Order for once. It's RipNTear. I'm going to be grouping up towards the shower position. Void is looking so ready to frag right now. He's dashed forward. Paranoia comes out with a peek. He gets it for white. He knows where Disco's playing from, but he doesn't expect another player towards you, Paul. Void, though, gets one with a knife. Tuck comes out for the swing, the tap, and no kill there. Left to Scroll. Blind of the world. Fury comes out. He's just running around like a headless chicken. Order. Shut down that tank before it becomes a reality.
Yeah, try as they might on the RipNTear side, just unfortunately weren't able to get their way onto the site. It's Order ready for a fight once again. Let's see if they can continue to shape up in that direction, though. Obviously, RipNTear now going to be able to buy up fully into this next round, so maybe they have a bone to pick with the side of Order.
definitely chip on their shoulder. Void just wants to get this entry kill. He can feel it in the server now, and Texter just denying him with flash after flash. Again, it's Autumn with the peak. It's a double up from Disco, and the members of RipNTear, they just can't seem to crack this A defense. It's been flawless already. Another from Texter. Just like that, 2 left alive already. The side of RipNTear. What can Scrawl and Greg do here?
Certainly going to have a lot to think about coming into this one, Tony, and I am so excited to see exactly how they choose to adapt themselves. 2 versus 5 situation, it's not ideal, and the money certainly isn't in their pockets either. Really going to need to weigh up their options. Do they still go for this, or do they just opt to go for the save? Because the odds are stacked against them right now.
All the cards in the favor of Order, and Scroll gonna be last left alive. It's Autumn and Texter with some quick picks, and it's Order with a flawless defense round there. And now 4-1. What can RipNTear really do differently? They've been playing stock standard right now. Maybe change up the pace a little slower, or maybe a little faster. Does Order have their number in this second map?
Yeah, certainly have made things look pretty good for the side of Order thus far. Let's see if they can continue to give their opponents these battle scars. Don't look like they're going to be fading, Tony.
Definitely not fading anytime soon here. Tux in a very, very aggressive angle towards Hookah, spots the shoulder of Void, and now doesn't even need to shoot the drone, it dissipates. It's Autumn to capitalize. Dick also to back up, and RipNTear is getting answered right now. Nothing really they can do. Flash gets Autumn up into the peak, and that's another kill being found here. And the rest of RipNTear try to capitalize. Dick finding Lukey, and it's up to Scroll. Drops to the Autumn. And the season is in for Order, 5-1. And not looking to stop anytime soon in their defense.
In Order, after taking out map number 1, they are certainly keen to try their best to take out map number 2 as well. Starting off strong on the defensive side of Bind here. Let's see if they can continue that, pressing forward.
And I'm definitely feeling like the change of character selection here for Autumn is coming in phenomenal for the side of Order. Of course, now on the now on the Rays, and free to frag up a Storm. You can see he's on 11 kills already. Plus Texter and Dick shortly behind, and Knives come out, tucks over the top. It's a left click straight to the dome of Lukey. He gets dumped on over at B Long, and RipNTear. That was only the lurk player, but already losing a member early to Order. That's not something you want to see.
The side, RipNTear now trying to push their way onto the side. Koro taking a little bit of punishment, but now does fade straight back into the darkness. Taking one to make that 2 players out. Koro making some great work for the side of RipNTear. And look at that, the rotation already going to be in Order. They've just played them completely, pressing their way over to the B side, and there's nobody there left to defend it.
It's a free walk up for RipNTear. The spike gonna go down, and Rolling Thunder being deployed there. Greg comes out with a mission, but he's immediately shut down by... Texter comes out with the mission. It's shut down immediately by the members of RipNTear, and it's left to Tux. 1v4. Operator in his hands. He sees the shoulder, sees the peak, can't hit the shot. Needs to fall back, but he continues to press on. It's a kill to Void. Recon dart to spot. Shock dart comes out, does a bit of damage. Tux needs to isolate these duels, and they're playing this position flawlessly. Koro gonna smoke it off. And Tux forced to run the hills here, and RipNTear only putting a second on the board, a much needed one.
Certainly starting off strong there. Luckily for the RipNTear side, they do manage to put a scare towards the side of Order, taking their second round. Let's see if they can shape up to take the third. Obviously, Order's money still going to be quite stable for the moment. RipNTear don't have that luxury. Still are going to be more towards the back end of things. Luckily, they can at least buy for their respective teammates, but I feel like it's going to take more than just a round or two to destabilize Order at this point.
Definitely feels that way. Rightfully so. Autumn feeling very, very stabilized. Of course, KL didn't get to touch on a pregame, but Autumn unfortunately couldn't quite change his name before the Invitational, so he will be KL, but Autumn to us, and rightfully so, he's doing very, very well in this Invitational so far. We saw him and Disco really show up huge in their first map yesterday against the likes of, I believe it was the players on ExoClan, and oh, Order. It's Texter to find that first kill. Sorry, it's actually against Kanga.
A nice trade to come through from Koro there, and now just like that, the RipNTear side tread their way towards the B side. Only have Autumn as well as Tux to deal with here, Tony. And it's certainly going to be a difficult endeavor. 2 versus 3 retake. Let's hope they can play around each other.
Oh, see Autumn go huge, and he can't there. Lukey gets it immediately. Tux left 1v3 scroll with an off angle, and a beautiful round again. A B hit coming out from RipNTear, and it pays off this time. 3-5 now. Again, a close half like we saw in the first one. Of course, it was RipNTear to start off with a lead, but Order starting off strong in this one, and well, RipNTear have adapted a bit, though.
Yeah, certainly can see the flexibility of their side. They started off a bit slow, but have managed to pick things up. Taking the first round of the half and then losing 5 in a row. Certainly you'd think would weigh on the mental for your team, but regardless, they picked themselves back up, have managed to take the last 2 in a row. And let's see if they can pave their way towards a third.
Oh, the rolling thunder. Dick, poor Dick, stuck in the corner. Not much he can do. He's dead to the world. And now Texter needs to hold on here. The beat comes out. Scroll gets taken. Void, though, limping it towards that fight and will win it out. Autumn. H shells and the blast packs available. RipNTear again. I found another B hit. Order yet to answer. Pete comes out. Tux reads it. Void finally being found down to the 3v3. Few low HP bars here from the side of RipNTear, but they're going to win out these fights. It's left to Tux. Neural Theft being deployed. He knows exactly where these players are, and oh, Tux needs to make quick work. The spike is in tube, and the tap has been heard. Order, though. Tux wins it. Almost hits the flick as well. He gets the pistol out. He's not going to be able to get the defuse. Lukey domes him in the end. 4-5. RipNTear come back with a vengeance.
Yes, taking the gap only to 1 round between them now, Tony. Certainly showing that they are feeling fired up and confident here. And they have managed to start to get a grip on how they want to play the game. You see Order becoming a little bit unkempt. Maybe might be able to collect themselves as we push on further, but regardless, they still have quite a few rounds behind them.
Of course, it's getting very, very late into the half. 5-4, and still an even score line. RipNTear starting to close the gap. Smoke to be deployed here. Koro, though, walks up here to jump over the top with the likes of Void, but Tux has already found the early kill in the bathroom. It's a bit of a split play here. All of Order stacked in the bathroom, and up to Dick now to hold off the rotate. The rolling thunder comes out. Dick finds another. 2 now left in the back of U-Haul. Greg and Void, and what can they do? Order have pincered their way on in. The flash comes out. Tux full white. But again, they're stuck in this U-Haul. The text is down. Autumn finds the final kill. 6 now. A flawless defense, and an interesting one that from Order.
Yeah, they just gave, like, early site control towards the side of RipNTear, but I feel like they've just instilled a false sense of security in them because, as we saw, Tony, they were able to get the trades, get the frags out very quickly. They played into Order's hands, essentially.
Well, now 6, looking to make it 7. RipNTear now in second last round of the half. They need to show some signs of life here because they're getting walked over. Tux straight towards long, immediately finding that pick on Aluki, and, well, Void left to console his fallen comrade as his body just behind him, and Order looking at very, very strong right now.
But certainly finding their footing once again, starting the round off strong, 3 kills under their belt. Make that 4, Tony. Things certainly going very favorable. As we say that, it's a team ace. They've just sent all their opponents to outer space, Tony. They've been ejected from the Skeld.
And, oh, maybe Order needed a bit of time to warm up here, because they're looking very, very hot going into this second map. Of course, this is RipNTear's map pick, and one would have favored them to win statistically wise. Of course, a very strong team on Bind, and, well, Order just have their number right now. Not really much else they can do. It's the last round of the half, and they're going to be limping across the finish line.
Ooh, just like that though, Dick Stacey trying to find that early information with the Hunter's Fury. Ooh, getting so close to Scrawl there. I'm sure that he could feel the wind on that one, brushing far past his face. Regardless though, he does manage to get the ultimate orb, so not all bad. And Dick Stacey, in kind, has found some information towards that bathroom position.
And seeing now a very passive RipNTear. Very prone to early hits though, but the early pick from Tux, he has been phenomenal on this Jet all series long, and showing up huge in this second map. Really what Order need from him right now, and nothing really to answer from RipNTear. It's all silence across the board.
Yeah, radio silence for the moment, but as we say that, Scroll does make some noise. Taking out one player, Lukey trying to clear out another. There he goes. Tux has been taken out. Texter still going to be alive on the site though. The final line of defense. We've also got Disco coming in from the shadows. So now it's going to be 2 versus 3 retake. Third player on the side of Order already quick to the mark. Dick Stacey, well played there, making great use of the information. Gets the pick very swiftly. And now it's left on the rest to try and make it happen.
Oh, it's Scroll in Hoopgar, and it's Greg in the site, though. They're all dropped dead to Dick and Disco, and just like that, Order close out the half 8-4. We felt like RipNTear could have held it there, but again, Spike will be defused 8-4, and Order are looking to close this one out, a convincing 2-0, and RipNTear needs something to answer. They're going to need this pistol, man.
Yeah, certainly are going to need the pistol here, Tony. Because otherwise it could spell disaster. As we do know, Order going to be the ones to take away map number 1. And if they take this one away, Tony, they will take the series. So I'm excited to see just how this one shapes up.
And, of course, this is the upper bracket. Double elim here, so whoever loses will be falling to the lower bracket. RipNTear looking very, very likely at the moment. But, of course, a pistol round would be the start of something great. Start of a comeback here. But Tarks is already through U-Haul, and there's already some early damage being done on the Scroll.
Looks like Dick Stacey's going to be able to find some early information as well. Texter opening up the kill for the round there. And Dick Stacey still stuck behind enemy lines. Does force his way back to the retreat. Now the rest of Order actually treading their way over towards the B site, and considering the lack of defense there, this could pay off for them. Void, though, has a thing or two to say. Does get the opening headshot onto Disco. Now trying to find another one.
Oh.
Texter falls down. Tux luckily able to pick it up. Dick Stacey and Order make it all come raining down as they manage to take the opening round.
And that was so chaotic. You saw they left Autumn over at that U-Haul, and he found the kill on Aluki, and then, of course, the rest of RipNTear tried to capitalize off of Void's entry and just couldn't quite get it done. Now 9-4, Spectres being invested. Autumn has had a phenomenal second map here, a bit of call to life here. 15-6 for him. Texter with 14-6, 13-4 for Dick. Very, very limited deaths from Dick Stacey.
Yeah, certainly being the silent but deadly element here. Koro, though, able to open things up. Texter gets a nice 2 kills for his troubles, however. Oh, Koro! The lineup was there. The shots just didn't align, however. And now it's all down to 2 players on RipNTear's side. They got the Stinger. They got the Spectre. Do you feel like they might be able to line up some kills with those ones?
Void is going to have to play this one perfectly. The blast pack comes out, and paint shells as well. Flash is about to come in there, and now Void can't see a damn thing. It's a 4th from Texter on for the ace. Down to 29 HP though. Spike will be finally planted. Scroll. It's a dink on a disco, but not much else he can do. Now double digits for Order, and RipNTear looking like a shell of them former selves from that first map.
Yeah, perhaps all of their, or the majority of their energy, rather, was expunged in map number 1. As we saw that one go so close. 14-12 being the end scoreline there. But now, they're starting to really struggle coming into map 2 here.
Here's Order. Very, very familiar with Bind. Of course, they did play it against Avant just yesterday, and a dominant win on that map. And, well, it appears no one can really take a fight against them, and it's going to be the B hit to come out here. Tux to lead the charge. Comes over the top, reads the play, but Greg reads the shot. It's a good trade, though, from Texter. Koro has snuck his way into the back lines, and has snuck his way around. There's a lot of kills going across the board here. Tux and the rest of Order now. Dick Stacy goes for the hunt, and they will find it. It's only 2 left to the 4 of Rip. Sorry, 2 left to the 4 of Order.
Ooh, and as we say that, though, that makes it 1 and none, Tony. As they dissect through the site, winning the fight, taking the 11th round. 2 more between them and potential glory.
And looking to move on through this invitational, and of course, face off against the winner of EXO No Tick. Of course, that series going on very, very close right now on the second map. And EXO, a dominant first map, but No Tick coming in to life here in the second. And, well, speaking of life, we're seeing nothing here from the side of RipNTear. It's very, very dominant from Order.
Starting off strong, though, the aggression from Void pays dividends. That opening kill certainly will start to line up some positivity on the side of RipNTear. Let's hope that they can back it up, though. Looks like they've actually been refragged out. Luckily, though, for the side of RipNTear, they at least have preparation in their favor, but the flashes certainly aren't helping them right now. Koro able to take out 2, though, Tony. Both players towards Bathroom falling down. And now it's going to be on Dick Stacy and Autumn to try and redeem this round.
The master of smokes and the master of blinds here. Void is going to get the paranoia out, but it's Koro to win those kills. It's 4 in the round, and a much needed one for RipNTear. Now 5-11. This is where they could potentially start to claw it back. Of course, Order, though, do have plenty of money to work with. You see 8 almost for all of the members now, down to 3, and still a lot of rounds to work with here for RipNTear if they're going to come back into this series.
Yeah, let's see exactly how things start to shape up here. Both sides at least able to buy for the moment, but as we see, if the side of RipNTear lose this round out, they are going to be forced into the eco territory again. And that starting pick coming out from Autumn certainly does hinder their potential attacking power.
And this is what we wanted to see from Autumn in that first map. Of course, a very, very rough showing on the Cypher, but he's here to play now. Blast Pack not going to get him out the window. He's got the showstopper in his hands, but there's a player to his left. It's Greg somehow finding that kill. A good flash comes out, but immediate trades here by the side of Order. They get that spike down convincingly onto the site. Luki just in the weight of that smoke. He will get shock darted as well, down to 18 points of HP, and Order now set up comfortably for this post plant.
Yeah, starting off nicely, but now it looks like it's not going to be so nice because Koro has managed to get the opening pick. He's spotted out by the recon dart, so that's great information gain. Dick Stacy, a nice dink towards Scrawl as well, just trying to stall them as long as possible.
Oh.
The rest of the players starting to chime in as well. Lukey finally takes out Tux. 18 points of health, though. There's a lot he needs to do in such a short amount of time, and you see Texter has the advantage, peeks on through, and manages to take them to series point.
This is now do or die, RipNTear. What do you have left in the bank? Of course, they're going to have to force into this one. Void and Greg, very, very unfortunate in terms of the economy. Spectre, light armor for Greg. And Ares, light armor. Never mind, it's a Spectre. He was teasing us a little there. Void, a little cheeky still. Not completely checked out, but Order have RipNTear's number. Of course, such a close first map, but this one, not even so. It's such a dominant performance from the entirety of Order.
Yeah, dominant performance indeed, but just like that, the trades come through. The Ares from Void sends his opponents straight away to the garbage chute. Let's see if he can shoot some bullets onto another. Void opens up with the third. Really keen to seek out the fourth. He has an idea where they're going to be playing from. Not able to get it though. Just overwhelmed by the information. And just like that, he's taking it down 1 on 2. Oh, Lukey picks them both up. Lukey with the clutch. It's all too much, Tony. He manages to get it done. RipNTear, not out of it yet.
Oh, Lukey, there's no way he pulls that off. They don't check short. It goes unheard of, and Lukey, the mastermind flank, holding it down for RipNTear when they needed it most. And well, they will have money down to buy in this one. Of course, a few light armors. Greg on the Guardian. But a very interesting double there. We didn't expect an Ares from Void, but he bought it last second and it paid off dividends.
Certainly getting some nice investment out of that though, Tony. But now regardless, the side of Order opting for the divide and conquer strategy. Do have a few players split out across the map here. Tuck's going to be placed very closely in the hookah position. And we've obviously got Texter making waves towards A as well. Tux is taking complete control of this B site right now. This is actually huge positioning, because while the rest of his team is setting things up towards A, he can just go deeper and deeper behind enemy lines. I mean, look at this. Greg's not going to be expecting him to be around that corner. And just like that, he's opened things up so smoothly.
Disco is also aware of the flank going on through the B long push, and well, it's very spread about, but it's an A site being locked down, B being taken by Order, and 4-3. Very interesting position. Dick just on the lurk and making so much noise here. Koro does have the backstab. He will be walking up in a moment's notice. Dick not going to check his flank, and he will be taken even up now. But Order have control of this B site. Autumn playing very, very far forward in the tube.
Certainly have set themselves up very dominantly. Koro even trying to go for some information through using that ultimate there. Scroll opens it up. Autumn able to get the refrag immediately. And just like that, another one bites the dust. It's all onto Koro, and he falls down. Autumn gets it done, Tony. And that is going to be the series. 2 maps to none going to Order.
2-0 Order. Flawless second game then. No signs of life from RipNTear at all. And we look at the scoreboard. It is Autumn with 24 kills. 22 for Texter. 17 for Tux. And a phenomenal series there from Order. Able to bounce back after a bit of first round jitters. And able to close it out 2-0. But again, we have to give props to RipNTear. They are looking very, very good as well, and it's scary going into that lower bracket game.
Certainly have to agree with you there, Tony. RipNTear showing us that they're a force to be contended with. Like, that first map really showed what they were capable of, taking it all the way to 14-12. Yes, they lost the map, but it could have gone either team's way.
And well, that will probably be it for us for now, of course, on the community cast. We will be back, of course, at 4 p.m. AEDT for the lower bracket best of 3 between the likes of RipNTear and Well, it hasn't been decided yet because No Tick EXO is still going. We're going to throw you over to that stream for now. But guys, appreciate you all coming by, tuning in, and we'll be back at 4 p.m. AEDT for the lower bracket best of 3. Again, I want to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors, L'Oreal, Men Expert, of course, for providing us such a beautiful invitational tournament, and of course, providing the prize pool, which we will be touching on right now. Of course, $6,000 to first place, and of course 5 beautiful Intel gaming PCs, of course brought to you by Intel ANZ, and of course second and third place get themselves some nice cash grab, 3k for second and 1 for third, and of course a MVP PC to be given out as well to the tournament overall MVP, and of course a beautiful PC being given away. And it's I believe it's Omen themed, man. It looks very, very nice.
Omen themed. That's exciting, Tony.
Rightfully so. But guys, we're going to throw it to a quick commercial break, and we will be throwing you over to the main stream. Of course, we'll be back at 4 p.m. AEDT. Don't go anywhere. There's some more Valorant action here for the Men's Expert Invitational very, very soon.